So real quick before we get into this video, we've compiled a list of 25 evergreen niches in e-commerce. So these aren't products, they're just niches that you can find products in. We've compiled this list of evergreen niches. So evergreen, if you don't know what that means, it means that consistently over an extended period of time, they're going to be effective. They're not going to go out of style. It's not like a fad or a trend. There's always items selling within these niches. So if you want to download this list of niches, I'll leave it in an annotation and in the description. So getting right into the video, this video is going to be about how much money you really need to start a Shopify store. And not many people pay attention to this. Some people come in, well, the majority of people come in with the wrong mindset, and they come in with not a lot of money at all. They don't come in with nearly enough. They come in with the mindset of they can start something with $50, and while you can, it's most likely not going to work. So keeping in mind, this is just an opinion. Everyone's number may be different, but this is the number I feel like is probably the best average that you're going to want to have going into starting a store. So how much money do you really need? And the answer is $1,000. So why $1,000? First off, let's dispel with some nonsense that you may hear, or get your mindset right, because while spending $50 on ads and making, let's say, $150 back is absolutely possible, and I mean, to be honest, ROIs way higher than this are possible. However, what you need to keep in mind is this is next to impossible to accomplish with your first $50, and that's where a lot of people mess up. They think the first $50 they invest into their store is going to come back with a 3x ROI, and that's not going to happen. It's pretty much never going to happen. Even if you know what you're doing, that's probably not going to happen. These are the type of numbers that you see after you find the winning product, after your pixels optimized for your audience with buyer data, after you spent money on testing products to optimize your pixel, to find a hot selling product, after you found the winning product and a winning ad. These are not the type of numbers that you can expect to get before you do all this. You have to test in order to get ads like this. In the beginning, you're pretty much 100% of the time going to go into the hole, and then once you find a winning setup, then you can start making it all back, and that's when you start to see these 3x, 4x ROIs on your ad spend. So even if you know what you're doing, your first $50 in a new niche with a new store with a fresh pixel with no data is pretty much always going to end up in a loss. And an easy example of this, if you haven't seen the case studies on the channel, case study number 2 was my case study that I uploaded. And in that video, you can see by the end of the month, it was doing roughly $1,000 in sales every day. But if you look at the beginning of the month, when it first started, it was only doing a couple sales a day during the testing period. And while that may seem alright, the amount of ad spend going on during the testing period was like $40 to $50 per day. So even though the sales may have been, $50 to $100, the profit and the ad spend, I think it came out to where it was going negative like $30 to $40 pretty much every day. And I believe the number before the pixel got optimized and before winning products and winning ads were found and everything started to scale, I believe the store was negative about $700-800. So that's just the reality. So a lot of people, you have a skewed mindset where you think that your first 50 is going to come back 3x, and that's just not going to happen. It's never going to happen. So you can't skip the testing period. You can't skip the upfront loss. It's just not going to happen. So whatever videos are telling you that your first 50 is going to profit, that's just not likely at all. It's possible, but it's unlikely. So the math behind $1,000. So let's say you use $100 for a logo, a custom domain, your social media banners, things like that. So $100 to get all of that set up and everything. Maybe you, depending on where you get your domain, how you set up your emails and everything, how much you want to shell out for a nice logo, and maybe you spend some of that money on having somebody help you design your store. So let's just say $100 for that. $100 minimum is going to go to a proper store. So the minimum monthly fee is going to be $30. You're at minimum going to spend another $70 on good apps. Most likely it's going to end up being more than that. And then $800 to test ads. So if you're testing ads and products starting at $5 to $10 per day, $800 is a good amount of money to test out a niche. So this should be enough money to find the winning product within a niche, given if there is one. But if the niche research was done properly, then more often than not, there's going to be a winning product in there. You just have to get your audience correct and your pixel optimized. If after about $800 of testing you don't find any winners, then most likely something's wrong. Most likely it was something with your niche research, or unless your targeting is way off, most likely it's just your niche isn't good enough, the products aren't winners, so you may just want to try out a new niche. But if you haven't spent at least this amount on testing, there's no reason whatsoever to be whining and complaining about lack of success and, oh, I don't have enough sales, I'm not profiting. So many people just start whining and crying when they spend like $50 and they're not already profiting, they're not rich yet. I mean, that's just not going to happen. This is a business, so it's not that easy. Nothing worthwhile really is. So if you're not willing to at least put in $1,000 to this type of business, then honestly there's probably no point in even starting at all. And more importantly, not only do you need to be willing to put in the $1,000, but you also have to be accepting to the fact that you could possibly lose it. And then if you do lose it, that doesn't mean you stop. It just means you get another $1,000 and you try again. So if you're not okay with that, if you're not okay with the fact that you could just lose $1,000 and you're gonna have to keep trying, then to be honest, you're probably just not cut out for business, and you probably just shouldn't start. So with that being said, I know that this video has probably changed the way you think about Shopify and e-commerce, and I know you probably have a different perspective on it now, which you should, because it's not like a push button, invest $20 and start a profitable business. It's just like anything else. Yes, it has a lot lower of a startup cost than a lot of businesses, but there's still a startup cost, and you're still going to start out in the neg. You can start profiting really fast. Like any business where you can start profiting within 2 to 3 weeks is pretty ridiculous. So with that being said, that's it for this video, and subscribe for more content.